you?
Good. I had to come and make sure and see if you had any hair left.
From pulling it out.
Must have been a very busy time for you.
Yes, it still is.
Still is, okay.
Oh, welcome everyone, including Barb, to open office hours for the 1st of February. Oh my goodness, can anyone believe it's February? I can't. Okay, so we have a few people here. I'm streaming into Facebook. Hello, Luz. Hello, Sue. Hello, Heather. Hello, C#. And anyone else who's joining us. I would ask you, if you have a specific question for me, to raise your digital hand and I will call on you. But fear not, if I don't have enough time to get to you, I will endeavour, as I always do, to answer your question in the Facebook group. Hi, Heather. Okay, so let's get started today. Luz, am I saying that correctly?
Yeah, it's perfect. I'm impressed.
Oh,
most
good.
people don't
Does it mean light?
Yes, it does.
Yay, beautiful. How can I help?
So I'm super excited. I'm trying to log in because now I need to see what was going on. I was just on a Zoom call. So let me start the question by saying I've been following the tutorials, and the one question I have is when I'm putting in, when I'm trying to choose a celebration, even though the celebration is something that I've put in, I don't see it in the drop down. So I don't, if that's a technical issue.
Okay, so you mean in the experience engine?
Yeah, in the step 5, I created something called You're Awesome.
Yep.
And then I want to use it, and I don't see You're Awesome as a choice in the drop down. Did I not?
You may not have turned
maybe I didn't
on.
save it.
You may not have turned on the celebration. There's a little toggle. I'll show you.
Yeah, if you can show me. I bet that's what it is. Oh, I see it. It's gray.
Okay, so that's what it is for the.
Let me make sure. Once you share your screen, I can tell you.
Yep. Okay, I'm sharing my screen, but there's nothing on my screen. Okay. Oh, that's not what you want to see. What do you want to see? You want to see that. Okay, you're seeing my Xperiencify account. Is that correct? Okay, it's just loading up. It's always a danger when sharing one screen, isn't there? People really
you
see
never
what
know.
you're doing. Okay. Come on, internet. All right, so we're in step 5. So celebrations, I've only got one there right now in this test course, but you'll see there's a little toggle there.
Yeah.
And when it's
that was it.
You can expand it. So unless it's turned on, it won't show up in the drop-down menus.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll turn it off and show you, or show everyone. I'm going to go. What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I don't even know what I'm doing this morning. Someone help me. How do I create a celebration? How do I turn on a celebration, Bob?
Aren't you just, you just turned it off and now you're looking for your drop-down menu of celebrations, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
How do I create a celebration? Experience engine, create from scratch. Starting trigger. So I want something to happen.
Oh yeah, the trigger.
I want a training completed, perhaps, or earn points. I'm going to select which training. I don't need to alter any of those because that's not that's kind of advanced stuff. Okay, and then what I want to do is, if user completes that, no, I've just done that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's not what I'm doing, is it? I can't even see the end of my screen. Oh my goodness. Maybe you can share your screen, Liz. We can see.
You want the
Anyway,
celebration builder there? Is that like design your celebration?
there we go. Add now. Oh, there we go.
I think it was when
There you go.
when
That's
I
what it is. Barb's got us going
Yeah.
here. Please forgive me, guys. It's morning for me and I have not had sufficient coffee, clearly. Okay, you're all going, who is this person that's leading us in this? All right, so here we go. We've got, it's within our actual cell. You know what I was getting confused with is because in the homepage when you've got goals and you want to choose that's what I was getting confused.
Okay.
Okay. So we've got our celebrations here. We've called it something. We're going to create the actual thing in the Open Celebration Builder, the visual stuff. And I'm going to trigger it when training is completed. I'm going to specify which training I'm talking about. Create event. So it's there. I'm going to open my Celebration Builder. I love that one. So I'm going to save and exit. Save and exit. Okay, and I'm going to make sure it's toggled to on. Okay, and then yeah, so that's an automatic one. So how are you in what format? So in the drop down menu,
I think honestly I think it was on the front page with the goal
goals.
1, goal 2.
Yeah. Okay. So when it's a celebration on the goals, if you're using it for goals, you don't actually have to set up a trigger here because the way you control it is on your homepage. So as long as it's turned on in step 5, then the drop down menu will show. Okay, so I'm on my home page in step 4 of the page builder. This is my goals block. I'm going to edit content, and then here are my 3 inspiring goals.
This is exactly where it was.
And then choose celebrations
Has
here.
a celebration.
Yeah.
Okay, so now
it
goal
appears because it's turned on in step 5.
Okay.
That's what it was. We worked it out, guys. Go team.
Yay.
Also, I think you can in general action steps now, maybe I'm making that up. There's somewhere else where you can select celebrations from a drop-down menu.
Okay.
But I won't further confuse everyone. I hope that helps. So yeah, just the little toggles, be careful. They don't turn on automatically for obvious reasons, like you may not actually have finished building it. So it's a manual process. You have to turn it on when you're ready. Okay, I hope that helps. Awesome. Sue, come on down.
Hi, mine's more of a little bit of strategy stuff. Well, but still I got to pick this. So I mentioned this, but it's been a few months, is I have a program for young athletes. So the parent is going to buy the program for the young athlete. So it's like, and then I'm going to have like a 101 version, 102, 103 and all that. Each one of the courses has a parent companion course with it. So when I go in to do it, am I going to be making 2 complete separate courses, one like student 101 and one like parent 101? Okay.
I would suggest, yes, that's the easiest way to do it.
Okay. And so then when the parent buys it, they'll go in and purchase the child's course, and then they'll set up a login for the child to have their own login, right? Login and password.
Yeah. So, so the parent will buy, I would suggest the parent is buying their own course, because initially when they make the purchase, they're entering their own name, and that's the account that will be created. So I suggest you, in your sales process, your marketing, you're putting the order form for, are you using the Xperiencify order form?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're making public the parent course, really, because they will be filling in their name in order to purchase. Okay.
Oh, so
the
then
parent-
actually, oh, yeah, so then what, because what you were saying to me before, if the parent got this, I could gift them the other course. So I
Yeah.
could actually gift them the student course
yeah.
instead of the other way around.
Yeah, it doesn't, I mean, it doesn't really matter you can market it however you want, but I think from the back end, I think the simplest way, if you want the parent's name on an account and the student's name on an account, it makes most sense because the parent's entering their name and their credit card, that will create an Xperiencify account for that person whose name it is that they've entered, right? And so you don't then want to have to change that into and say, oh, only enter your child's name. I think the easiest way is the parent buys their course, and then what happens is once it opens up in the welcome, you can have a block that has a button to the order form for the child's course, which is a free course because they've already just paid. Like if you're
Right.
gifting them, if it's like 2 for the price of 1, it's a button that says, now register your child for the child's version of the course. And they are entering then, it just makes logical sense that then they're entering their child's name, which creates the account in the child's name, but it's free. They don't have to enter another credit card. So the payment, like the cost of the second course is 0. Okay, so they're
Right.
doing is registering basically. And then an email gets sent to whatever email address they put in, which will then give the child their own magic link and access.
Okay,
to-
and so, and the cost would be 0, and I think you said I would do that with a tag. Or it's kind of like well, wherever it is in there that you can gift another course to somebody
Yeah, so
for
okay,
free.
so if you
Is
want,
that a tag or?
well, it is if you want to use the same name for that subsequent course. Like if you're selling to adults and you're giving them a next level course for themselves, I would do it with a tag because it's the same Xperiencify account. It's their name. Mary Jones is buying one course and getting a next course. All right. So you could tag her when she purchases the first and then automatically through the Experience engine, add her to a second. She doesn't actually have to fill in a form. But if you want a course for a different named person, I would put a block in because you've got to enter the other person's name right somehow.
Yeah.
So then you're giving them access to the order form for the second course where they enter that person's name and email address. And that way you're giving access to the second person. It's just easiest that way. If it's just the one person getting multiple courses, you could do it with tags.
Okay, no, this will just be the parent and that.
Yeah, they
Then
just
when they
fill
buy
in.
when they buy the next course, then it kind of the same process just starts over because
Yeah.
the 101, 102, 103.
Yeah. Or you
Okay.
can, when they get to the end, you can also set up another block that says, or another action step that says, great, you've completed 101, click this button and it adds a tag and that automatically adds them to the next one. You can do that if it's the
Well,
same
they'd have to
person's
purchase
name.
it.
Yeah. Oh, they have to purchase it. Okay. Yep.
Yeah, they don't get that. They don't
Okay,
get
so you can put a button and say, great, now you've just finished 101. Next step is 102.
Right.
And the button is to the order form where they put their payment details in.
Would I take them back to a sales page for the next one?
You can if it's hasn't been part of your process at the end, like of winding up the first course, you can certainly take instead of sending them straight to the order form, you can send them to a sales page. But if in your kind of closing up ceremony of you've already kind of like marketed the next step to them, then you may not need to.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I was wondering where. Yeah, okay, so I have to make sure. Yeah, because I want that.
The button can go anywhere. The button can go to either your marketplace, which has a little blurb, not too much, or it can go to a custom sales page, which has the whole kit and caboodle of convincing them and testimonials and frequently asked questions and all of that. And then the button on the sales page goes to the order form.
Okay. And then I guess since these look like 2 separate courses, then I will have 2 forums basically running. If I
Yeah.
use the forum thing, so they're not going to be they just look like 2 separate courses.
You can have them interact if you want. The forum can
Oh.
be school-wide, like your whole company-wide, and you can allow access to different
Okay,
groups.
or I can segment it.
Or you can segment them and say only course 1 talks here and course 2 can't see anything. And here's
Yeah.
course 2's thread or group, they can talk there. Or you can make a group that's like everyone under the sun and let's all meet and be happy and
Right,
talk
yeah,
about
that'd be fine, but
whatever it
if
is.
I want the kids to talk, their parents can't be there.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, you
Okay, is
can
there
absolutely keep them
anything
separate.
else around this idea that I may want to pay attention to, dealing again with kids, parents? You know, you guys have had other students that have taught things like this. I just think if there's anything else to pay attention to that, or just treat it like 2 separate courses.
Yeah, I think if you don't want them to interact in any way, it's easiest to have them as separate courses because otherwise you're going to have to use tags a lot to hide and reveal content. It's just going to be way too complicated. I would, and especially since there's 2 different yeah, I would I would keep it as 2 separate courses.
Okay, and then last thing with that, the link, that magic link that they're going to get. So the child will just be able to have a username and password. They won't have to be putting in emails or things like that, because the parent will have the email and all of that. And the kids, they could just access it without that kind of information, right?
So if you set it up the way I've suggested, in that you've got a link to them for filling out another order form or another registration, because it doesn't cost any money, you're creating 2 separate accounts. There's 2 separate profiles, okay? And so every profile within Xperiencify does get a traditional login. Like the email that we send out does have, this is your email address that you use to sign up and here's your password, okay? And it also has a magic link. So you needn't ever use the traditional login if you don't want to. You only need use the magic link. But if for some reason someone can't find their magic link or whatever, or they just like using a traditional login, everyone will get one. So the parent signs up and buys course 1, they will get both a magic link and a traditional login. When they sign up their child, there will be a separate, different, because it's a different course even, login detail, traditional login details, and a new magic link for that different.
Okay, but the kid wouldn't need to put in an email, would they, if they lost that?
Well, you'll have to enter an email, in the parent will have to enter someone's email in order to create that account, okay, whether it's theirs or their child's. The communication, if you're setting up like experiences with email communication or SMS communication, it will go to whatever is entered when that account is created. Okay,
right.
but you know, the details of the magic link will be sent to that email address.
Yeah, I figure when those automatic things being set up, when week 1 just dropped, it'll go to the parent's email.
If that's what they have entered in the second registration that they do.
Yeah, most
they
of these
can
kids
enter
are
a
going to
different
have their
email
own
address.
email.
They can enter their child's email address or a different second email address of their own. But it has to, like every XP account has to have a name and an email address.
And an email address. Okay, that's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's it. Thanks so much.
Yay. Just do it and see what happens. Okay, really, go forth.
Okay.
Bob, you're laughing at me.
Well, that's how my kids, that's when they work on the computer, that's all they do is just do it and see what happens. And when I do that, my computer crashes. So I try not to do that.
Really? Oh, no.
So I have 2 questions. One is on the order form, when they sign up for the course, these 2 courses are going to be based on a book that I've written. is there a way, if they haven't already purchased the book, to have like an upsell or something on the order form where they can buy the book if they want to? Or is that not possible?
You could, we can't yet do a traditional upsell in that it's like, you know, a tally of, okay, you add this to your cart and then you add this to your cart and then you add
Right.
that to your cart. I believe there are things in the works that are going to advance
Okay.
our checkout process. However, what you can do and what I've suggested to some other coaches who have made it work is like they might have a course and then they want to offer a VIP package as well. You can have two actual options that say course only, course plus VIP coaching package, and they're different amounts. So you could have course and book and set it up so that they're two different amounts. And the workaround for that right now, until we get our checkout process a bit more advanced, is to have, you know, you've got a full pay option and then you've got multiple payment plan options that you can add in. So you would set it up like the course is, say, $500. The course and the book is $1,000, like whatever, you know, $1,000 is the payment plan option, but you do one payment, and then you have the total as whatever the total is for that price. And then in the order form, you can actually amend what the little label says for the different options. I'll show you on the order form, so that it, instead of saying full pay and payment plan, it says course plus book. Okay, so you can label them whatever you want, and then they select one or the other, and then the cart total is the total price that for those two things. You would then need to, I guess, tag, or there must be some way of you being able to keep track of who's paid 500 versus who's paid 1,000, so that you can then actually fulfill on that offer that they've chosen. Let me show you.
It wouldn't put them into like two different.
It's still
courses.
the same, because they're still getting the course, because it's an order form for that course.
Right, exactly.
Okay, that's not the screen. It always goes to my, I'm really not happy Mac user right now. I'm going to tell you. That's what I want to show you. Okay. I'm in a course. What am I showing you? The order form. Okay. Sorry, like as I said, I haven't had enough coffee today, guys. Really, it's been back to school for the new school year here in Australia. And yeah, my brain has been taxed with other things apart from work. So, okay, what we've got here is in step 2, and it's really hot. Like I'm just sweating. I don't know if you can see it, how glowing I am. Okay, single payment. So I would put a single payment, and that would be probably whatever the course, just the course only. And then I would do one monthly payment of whatever it is, the total that you want for the second off. So this one would be 500. Okay, and so the plan total is 1,000. So it's only going to fire once. Okay.
Right.
And it does fire immediately upon them clicking the button. And so that's set up. So I've got one payment of 500 or one payment of 1,000. And then what I'm going to do is go into my page builder, which is step 4. And I'm going to go to the order form and edit it. And I'm hoping that that price has transferred through. Yes, it has. I love it when it works. Okay. So you can see here the choose payment option says full pay, one payment of 500. Oh, why have I got this? Okay, I'm going to go back. I've got to go back and delete that subscription. Delete that. I don't want that. Okay, refresh. Now it wants to know order form. Okay, so now on my order form, it says full pay, or of one payment of 500 or one payment of 1,000. Okay, I'm going to go into edit content and actually change what that says. This is my right column because there's two columns in this little thing. I'm going to right column data to expand that. So these are my two payment options that have pre-populated from step 2 where I've just set up. I'm going to expand that one and I'm going to change what it says. One payment of, no, that's the one I want. This, I want to change this to say
Course only.
only. And then I can actually change what it says here. I could say fabulous deal or whatever. And then on the second one, instead of payment plan, I'm going to say course plus book. And then I can change it only, you know, whatever. I mean, I'm just being silly right now.
Sure.
But you can see, I hope you can see that that has changed what's actually there. So now it's kind of clear. You can also change what it says, choose payment options. I'm sure you can change that. Order summary, choose payment options. Okay, you can change it to whatever there, so that it makes sense for whatever your offers are. Choose the best deal for you. I'm not suggesting you type that, but okay, so you can see that you can basically, and in step 2, you can create, in single payment, you can create more of those. Okay, so if you had a third deal like course plus book plus coaching, you could add that in there. Okay, and then let me see if we've got any tags. Do we have tags right now? I know that they were going to put in tags around which option. I think that might be coming in the next little while, is that you can have a tag based on which option they select, so that then it's easy for you to then automatically, like you could even, you know, send fulfillment companies or the book publisher or whatever. Right. You could automatically send them an email based on that tag and say, these, please send it to these people. You would want to put in their physical address if you're going to send them a book too. Right. So I would go into left column data. Have I got phone fields? Do we have here? So we click on, there's by default it's turned off because we don't want to bombard them with all the unnecessary things just for an online course, but you can turn on address and then the address field pops in there. Okay, if it's something physical that you're going to send them.
Cool. Oh, that's great. Now, one other question.
Yeah.
My courses are based on a book and it kind of builds, but they wouldn't have to take the first course because it is more basic and a lot of dog trainers already know most of that. So they could take the second one without the first one. But is there any way, if people take the first course, that I could send them a coupon so that they would get like $50 or something off of the second course?
Yeah.
Okay, so how would I set that up?
Okay, so you could set up an automation in the Experience Engine, step 5, that the trigger is when the student completes the course, an email gets sent to them. And in the email is the code that you have already set up in your step 2 payment options, where you've created a discount code just for those who've done step 1, course 1. Okay, right. So in that email, you say, great, fantastic, you've unlocked discount. Here's the code to use, and you can even put a link in there to the order form for the next course. Okay. So they can then use that. The other, probably slightly more complicated way, is that you could have a block that just pops up when they've checked off the last. So it could be in the last training of course 1, pardon me, you could put a block that only displays to those who have a tag. Okay, and once they've checked off all the items, they've completed the course, a tag is added to them, then the block is revealed. It happens kind of immediately, like within a second or two. The block reveals and says, fantastic, you just unlocked discount code. And you like in the text of the block, you tell them what the code is, and then there's a button right there for the next order form.
Okay, 2 questions. One, is that coupon code only, like, is it only for them? Like, it's not one they can give to a friend or?
Yeah, they could in theory give it. It's
okay.
not unique. Yeah.
Okay.
You can set a time limit. You can set a time limit, like you can make it valid only for a particular date and until a particular date. We don't yet have the ability to lock it down to a number of instances of being used.
Okay, so like they could share it and 2 or 3 people could use it.
They could in theory, yes.
Okay. That, and the other thing is, I'm going to ask them for completing the course to do a review, give it a review. And I want that to be like the last, that's going to be part of, they don't complete the course until they've given a review, whether they like it or not, I don't care, but that can be in there too then, I assume.
Yes, absolutely. I just set that up for a coach the other day. So the last action step was, please share your experience. I mean, be careful in the way you word it, because no one really wants to do a survey. You kind of market it to them as in what's the benefit to them of doing this, like help others, like, or help me make this better, that sort of thing.
In the last video, I say, I say it in the very beginning, and I say it at the end, right before I'm asking them to finish, is, I'm requiring this because I want to make this better for other people. And so, I know people don't like do this, but, I appreciate it. Whatever you honestly feel is fine, but okay.
So the last action step in the last training is can be either a link, or it can just be like quiz questions. If you've seen that we can now do multiple choice questions that don't have a correct answer, which means that it can be their opinion. So that's really good for surveys. But if you want like analytics and stuff, you might want to send them to a Jot form or a Google form or something like that, and they have to check off that they've done it in order to complete the course. And I would put some sort of incentive, a lot of points, or that it's going to unlock something for them, or something
I say
like
they'll
that.
get a gift if they complete. And can you use, like, I think you can, rather than a quiz, you can have like a a question where they can write an answer.
An essay response.
Essay,
so you've got three options for action steps. One is just a checkbox, or a multiple choice question, which may or may not have a correct answer that they get points for, and an essay response, which doesn't mean they need to write a whole essay. You can set a minimum number of words, which could only just be 1 if you just want them to answer it. So that way you're getting a decent response from them, and it's private. If you want them to share, like, brainstorm ideas with you, I would put it like as a comment section, like, can share what your biggest takeaway was, or what was the experience within this course that like made you just like flip your lid about, like, if only I'd known this 5 years ago or something. That's really good to get discussion going and to kind of brainstorm ideas. And that's kind of like public within that peer group.
So that would be on the forum there, and that would just be just that wouldn't be an action step.
You can make it an action step if you want them to do it. You can say, as an action step and as a checkbox, like they have to do it and then come back and check it off to get the point. or to
Okay.
complete the course, you know.
Right, that might be better because then people could kind of interact rather than just, write me a review.
Yeah, it depends, you know, it depends what your people are like and how you've kind of led them through the course to begin with, and what level of interaction you have and what level of sharing and asking them their opinion about things. So because I think it always makes me as a student, it always makes me think a lot deeper when an instructor asks me, you know, what part of this lesson really stood out for you, or what bit did you find most difficult, or can you share how that made you feel when I asked you to do that, or like show us your homework, you know, like hold it up, like what was your answer to this question? It always makes me think deeper and engage with the content more than just like, you know, a passive
Yes.
thing. So
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
think about that.
That's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Sue. Oh, Sue's gone. Naomi.
Hello again.
Hello.
I have a few questions. I'm trying out different features in for my new course creation. So I started hosting my webinars in it as a mini course, and I added the replay as the first lesson after the homepage.
Yeah.
But anyway, the issue I'm seeing is that the people who join the workshop, they start clicking all the buttons to get the I guess they get fascinated to get the reward, and they keep the catching thing, and then they start clicking everything and they finish the course.
All right.
And they don't even wait to watch the video.
Right. Okay.
I mean, there's a one action that says no, check your email and reply to me. With that, some of them actually reply to that confirmation email.
Yeah.
But before doing anything, they check it off, and they check off watch the video and other actions, and they complete the course. I don't know what to do.
Okay, so you can so on the homepage, directly below the welcome video, we suggest you put the goals, and you can actually lock the goals from not being checked off before a certain amount of time. And I think that is a really good kind of a way to train them. And I also put in, like, you know, this a heading of these are the goals and what's possible for you in this course. And then I say, don't check them off until you've actually achieved them, with a little wink face. And then in the settings of those action steps or goals, I then say you can't actually check this off until, and there's a variety of options, like until a certain number of points or a certain number of days after they've logged in, or I can't remember. I'll go in and share my screen in a minute. But I think that really sets them up well, because it's the very first encounter they have with the check boxes and the points. Then the next one is the pre-actions, which are really quick little things. I think what you know, and you're saying that they're going through and checking things off that they haven't necessarily done. I mean, we can't actually prevent that, but
yeah, but they just they start checking off everything on the homepage.
How much is your course? Are you?
Well, it's a webinar, so no.
So is it free?
It's free training.
Okay.
So it's basically with one lesson, which is the replay, to watch the replay video, and
I see. So it's only one. Okay, it's only one thing.
So the workshop happens after they opt in. Then the first thing they get is the confirmation email as a default. Then a little bit later, the workshop happens. Then I have to edit the video to upload the text like up to 24 hours before the video is available. Then that's when the first lesson is released in the homepage. They're supposed to come back to homepage, take off the first goal that they watched the video and they got the material list as a bonus. They don't even come back to get the free. I teach painting, so the painting materials as a bonus, they get that for free by attending my workshop, but they don't even come back, but they just check off everything.
Yeah. Okay.
And they don't even watch the video.
It might be a question of the quality of the leads that you're getting in to that, to your offer. So, you know, anything that's free will attract a certain type of person that just wants to try things out, just see what it is and have a bit of fun. So, I mean, you can't really do much with that type of people. They're probably not ever going to buy anything from you if that's what they're doing. They're not coming back.
Yeah, but usually like, you know, people use free webinar or free training as a lead magnet, and the people who are very serious about the subject opt into the sign up for the free training, and that's when you offer the paid course.
Yeah, I understand, but I mean the conversion rate on a free webinar, you'll probably see if you do some research, is really quite low. So you're going to attract a lot of people who just they're just tire kickers is what we call, like they're just trying things out. Nevertheless, I think there is probably a way we can set it up so that they have to do something, engage in the content, and then you can apply a tag so that then they only get other things once they have that tag, rather than having everything available to them to check off and click. So, you know, I might need to know a little bit more about, you know, think about what you require for them to be considered like, you know, a legitimate lead, a serious person, so that they can then access all of the other things. And I think it's also about, you know, educating them either in your webinar or in the action steps and the text that you use and the way you set it up, so that you're really encouraging them to do it legitimately, rather than but there's probably no way you can really get, you know, eliminate all of those people who are just.
Yes, I understand that, because I just started. I only have like less than almost 30 people signed up for the webinar thing, and I know I need more number, like 300 or 600 before I make the sale of the course. I understand that, but I'm just seeing the pattern that the people are checking off everything. So I'm just trying. You mentioned something about you can set up the trigger to show up some of those action boxes, action, what do you call it?
A block. Action
block based on the time or based on the behavior.
Yeah.
So
I'll show you that.
I would like to know.
So just to clarify, I did, excuse me, I did also promise to show you about how to lock down those goals too. So I'll do both. I'll show you. Got 15 minutes left. Okay, so next up is C#, and I'll just, of course, it's showing my empty desktop. Okay. What do I want to do? I want to first of all, I want to show you the homepage and the goals. Okay. No, I do want to open that. Step 4 is where we're going into the page builder. Edit homepage. I'll just quickly show how you can basic, I think it's a little pattern interrupt, or not a pattern interrupt, because they haven't actually been in the pattern yet, but it's kind of, I guess, educating them from the start that this is not just about clicking anything. Okay, so they've watched your video here, you're welcome.
Yeah,
then
and how can I change the color of the button, the triangle button?
the play
Maybe it's
button.
not really.
Yeah. Okay,
People
so
don't.
for the homepage video, so for the welcome video, you do it in edit content, column 1, video, accent player button here.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so that changes there.
Mm.
For
Can you
all
make
of,
it bigger? That's
sorry?
too small.
It's too small. You can change the size to large.
It's still kind of big.
It's still too small.
Well, but it's better than nothing. So is that in a video that I should tell them that hey, welcome to this page. I wanna explain that you aren't supposed to check off everything. It's not the point game. You're supposed to go through the process.
I don't know whether doing that in the beginning, I don't know. I think you really want to enroll them in listening to what you have to offer first. I wouldn't kind of put it in the very first thing that they're in.
Or should I just replace that the first video with replay itself after the webinar is done?
Can you repeat that?
Do you think it's good idea? It's better idea to just replace that photo or the first video on the home page with the replay of the webinar itself after the webinar, because people still sign up for the webinar after the event. So I can make it into evergreen for people. So should I just place the replay on the front homepage?
If you have a webinar that you know converts really well, I mean, they don't, the common best practice is not to turn a webinar evergreen until you really know that it converts, okay, and that you've got a lot of feedback. You've done it many, many times very successfully before you turn it evergreen. So, the advice that I've heard is to just keep doing live webinars until you really nail down your messaging and your sequencing, because there's no point putting a low converting webinar onto evergreen because you're just not going to convert.
Okay, so what about the replay? Because there are a lot of people sign up, but most of them never show up. So I want them to watch.
That's the problem with free webinars. Yes. So the way I have seen other people do it is that they only give access to, you can do it in a number of ways. And I'm not an expert by any means on the marketing of webinars. So I'm just kind of going off my own experience. There are many ways to give people access to that. It could be through an email. It could be through once they've done. Okay, so I'll just go back to the first question, was whether you should replace this video, instead of having a welcome video, having the actual webinar. I probably would. If people are signing up for a replay of a webinar, that would be the first thing, and I would try and enroll them in the transformation that I'm offering them in that little piece of content from the very beginning. Okay. Then you kind of instructing them how to use this platform, with the gamification, by setting up these goals in a way that tells them, what, I want you to achieve this thing when we go through the paid course, but you can't just check them off just yet. Okay, and you can say that in the text here, as well as locking them down in the edit content, going to the actual goal, and then within the settings here, it will say this action is completable anytime on a specific date or after X days after they've joined, or after a specific amount of points have been earned. Okay, so that way they can't just check it off straight away. And if they do attempt to check it off and you've put it 3 days after they join, You've got a try again later message, which you can customize to say anything you want. And it says, hi, we understand you're excited that these goals were created to be checked off only after you've actually reached them, not before. Don't worry, though, they're going to be available to check off very soon. So you're kind of training them about what it is to check off a thing in this platform, okay, from the very beginning, which I think will help later on when they do like to check off buttons and see the, you know, hear the sound and get the points and that sort of thing. You've kind of set it up from the beginning about what it is to check off goals. Then when they're in the course, you know, or you only reveal certain bonuses or certain content based on whether they've got a tag. You can see here that once they've checked something, once they've checked off an action, you can tag them. And so only people with that tag, like that they're actual serious, you know, customers, then you can reveal that content to them based on that tag. Do you see what I mean? It's kind of like educating them about how to use the platform.
So that goes in the very first box of the white box in the goal, the first goal.
Yeah, the first goal. So you can, this panel can be anything you want. It doesn't have to be goals. It can be anything, but you can set it up so that they can't just check it off straight away. You can say, hey, hang on a minute. You know, I know you're excited about checking this off, but can you please reply to, you know, that email that I sent you? Can you please, you know, actually respond to that first? Or just making sure that you actually did that thing I asked you to do. It's not just about checking off buttons here. Okay, you kind of just educating them. You're not going to get rid of everyone who does that who is signing up for a free thing.
Right,
okay?
right.
Yeah, but it's about, I guess, communicating with them and making sure that they understand the benefit to them of actually watching this webinar. Like, what are they going to get out of it?
And then what about the people who complete the course? How can I delete them automatically?
How can you delete people automatically after they've completed the course? Okay. So
because I don't want them to have access to this video forever.
Yeah. So you can either set up an automation so that the access disappears after a certain amount of time, like 3 days after they've joined. So it's you can also warn them and say, hey, this replay is only available for 3 days. You better watch it, otherwise it's disappearing, in nicer terms.
Yeah. Could you show me how to make access disappear?
Yep. Okay. So in step 5, we want to go to Experience Engine. And there's a number of ways you can do this, but you can do it as when user is added to this course. So for example, if it's an evergreen thing, you want to add, if you hover over the middle of whatever the last action step is here. So this is one automation here, and this is another automation. And within an automation, you can have several components, okay? In this automation, I've got a student welcome email, I've got a student SMS, and I've got a tag this is just a demonstration, and then I've got a tag that happens when they join. If I add another one, I can say remove from, I can put in a delay, put in a delay timer of however many days. This is if I just want to pull it after 3 days, for example. After 3 days from signing up, I've got to wait 3 days, then I add, not remove tag, remove from course.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't know that. I didn't see that.
Okay, so that's based on time. Remove them from the course automatically after 3 days or however long.
And you can do that with a certain time or date.
It's only evergreen, so it's a certain number of days, but I'll show you how you can do it when they've completed the course, if you wanted to do it that way.
Or when the webinar replay comes down, I wanna close the access for everybody.
Okay, so it will depend on when they sign up. So if you're just opening your cart, if you're having this offer available only during a specific time, everyone's going to be joining, and then you can lock it down based on the number of days since they have joined. Okay.
But can you specify the date?
Not on this one, not yet.
No? Oh, that's a bummer because
But if it's evergreen, so if it's live, if you're running it on a particular date, you will know how many days after. So you just want, so if you're running it
Okay.
on the 20th and you want to lock it down on the 25th, you would just choose 5 days afterwards. Okay, because everyone's joining at the same time.
okay.
Okay, if it's
And if it's
evergreen and
evergreen-
anyone can sign up at any time, they still only get 5 days access, or however
Okay.
many days.
Mhm.
Okay, if you want something to happen, if you want to remove them after they've completed it, so you would say, this is a new, I'll show you from the beginning. So I'm in Experience Engine, create new from scratch, starting trigger, course completed. And I can choose whether this stopping trigger, that's only if you've got another tag or something. I'm going to add that. So close that up. So this is my new one. If user completes this course, I'm going to, oh, my screen's not going up. Okay, yeah, I think it's this one. Remove from course, and I select the course, or I can add them to a next course, you know, or I can, what else can I do? I can send them a message, an email. I can add a tag that then reveals something to them. Okay, so once they've completed the course, add a tag that I've already set up, which says like user completed course 1, and then I can add another component that then says add them to another course, or unlock a module, various things like that. Does that help?
Yes, and I have one more question about the adding worksheet, because I'm taking I took EPM, and there's always a worksheet below the video that we go through.
Yep.
How do you make that?
Okay, so in step 3, where you're adding your course content, step 3, add course content. I go into the actual training that where I want the worksheet to appear, and I go to downloads, and then I add. I've already got one download there at the moment. I'm going to upload something from a document from my electricity bill. There we go. I think everyone wants to see my electricity bill. I'm going to add that in. Surprise. That's what it's going to be. And so then I close that. And then when I go into preview this training, come on, internet. I've got C# waiting for me. Come on. All right. I see you, C#. I'm going to, okay. So here, that's where the downloads appear underneath the video. Okay. And you can change the colors of these. You can make them stand out more. You can add emojis and things like that. And the way you change that is in step 4 of the page builder on the single training page. You can change the formatting of this so that it stands out more with colors. And when they click on that, I'll click on this one because you really don't want to see my electricity bill. It downloaded to my computer, and then I can open it up, and that's whatever I uploaded there, a mind map as a worksheet, or whatever it is that you want to share with them. Okay, so step 3 in downloads.
Okay.
Okay.
One more question.
Oh, can I just go to C#, please, Naomi? I'm running out
sure.
of time, and if I don't come back to you, you can ask in the Facebook group, or you can email if it's a tech question, support@xperiencify.com. Thanks for your understanding. Okay, C#, hello.
Hello, how are you doing,
I'm good,
Danielle?
thanks. How are you?
Hi. I'm fine.
You're very patient.
Yeah, we have to be with a large group.
Thank you for that.
I have several questions because I customized my domain name. I'm
Mhm.
using a different payment processor. So they asking me several questions. I don't want to make assumptions about them and then have a problem later. So one of them is about do you PCI compliance? And what they're asking me if the PCI compliance, I assume that Xperiencify is, but I don't want to make assumption about that.
Can you explain what PCI compliance is to me? Because I've never heard of that before.
That's security. They have a certain banks use it, and
Oh,
anybody that has a database. It's not just banks. Any company that has a database has to be PCI compliance when they taking credit card processing and things like that. So any type of payment, you got to protect the database, which includes the identity as well as the credit card information or any other type of payment information.
okay. And you're using a different payment processor you're not using our order form.
No.
Okay, so then it's got really nothing to do with Xperiencify, because you're not actually entering the person is not entering any credit card information to us. It's however you're processing their payment.
Okay, so you all don't store the information when it's transferred.
If you're not using our order form, we're not even seeing anything. And I think anyway, if you are using our order form, it's all going through Stripe, which is a pretty legit and huge payment processing company.
Yeah, they're PCI.
We don't store credit card information at all.
Okay.
It doesn't come through us, but particularly if you're not using our order form, it's got nothing to do with us.
Okay, so you don't store any of the information that's transferred to you from them?
Not that I'm aware of. That would, that's a really technical question. I think you'd need to ask support at Xperiencify.com. I think if you're using a third-party payment processor, you are probably using Zapier to get the name and the email address. I believe the only thing that gets transferred over is the name and the email address in order to create the Xperiencify student account.
Okay.
Certainly wouldn't be credit card information because that's not part of an account. Yeah.
So I don't know if this was something that only support would be able to answer. They asking me about the terminal or payment application. I guess that's the form or what's on it. I have no clue what that means.
Payment. So who's asking you this question?
Then payments.
Then payments.
They are Zapier does link with them.
Okay. I don't know about that. I would suggest you email support@Xperiencify.com and they can determine whether that's a question that's actually relevant for us or not and direct you that way. But I'm not. I'm more about showing you how to build things and how the features work rather than those really technical things. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I sent them an email, but I just wasn't sure if this would be something that you would know as well.
Yeah. They have been, they have been slammed a little bit in the past week with inquiries because of various things that we're doing, including the end of the EPM bonus deadline for the 2021 students. So please, I ask for your patience in that they will respond to you. They may even be trying to figure out the answer for you. So because I haven't heard of that before in my encounters. So you may have thrown them for a bit of a loop and they're trying to recover.
Not a problem, but the payment service provider is Stripe for you all.
Yes, if you use our order form, it all goes through Stripe. You connect your Stripe account to Xperiencify, and then you have control over what happens by logging into Stripe. Okay,
But
we
if I-
basically, it just basically sends us the little, okay, they've paid. And this was the information that they entered into. I mean, they're entering the information into our form, but it's all hooked up through Stripe.
Okay, so if I'm using Zapier for the integration,
Mhm.
will that still be Stripes that it would integrate with?
No, because
directly?
if you're using a third party processor, it's that they are the ones taking the money. I don't know what they use. Okay, they may I don't know what another third party uses, but all Zapier is doing is they are sending the name and the email address in order to say that this person should be added to a course. That's all the information, as far as I understand it. Other platforms where you can like check out pages may use Stripe. They may use other ones that I don't know about. I'm not sure.
Okay.
That would be a question for them.
Okay,
Yeah.
sounds good. Thanks a lot. That answers.
Awesome. You're welcome. Okay, I think I'm going to wrap it up. I'm only a couple of minutes over. Wow, I'm getting much better. Naomi, thank you for your understanding. If you can put your question in the Facebook group or email it, we will really endeavor to get you sorted out. And I wish you, thank you. We'll see you all next week or whoever wants to come for a live training. And I'll pop any questions that I didn't get to. Did I get any in that? It's a bit of a quiet chat day today. Awesome. Okay, I'll see you all next week. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.
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 Thank you.